welcome to the stage the man simply known as the playmaker, Michael Irvin! You are the man, baby!
Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. 𝗚𝗶𝗃𝗵𝗵𝗲𝗶. I said so. I keep big bills up in my hood on the dirty like blood. So ain't got no twist in my head, but I'm still dreadful. And I got plenty of bread, so I go to bed full. I'm in it to win it. I'm all in. I might call you my cuz, young blood, but we ain't kin. You think of jumping, man, you best think again. The dirty, I'm the type of man that might go broke for revenge. Had some not so nice friends, kick the dough off the hinge, take the dough off your bins, pop up my phone and your friends, man, please. This shit ain't cynical. No subliminal, physical, financial.
Thank you guys for having me. Man, watching them highlights, man, darn. Man, I'm serious. I was tearing up over there like, man, I was a bad boy one day. You know what I'm saying? One day, I'm an older fella now, man. And so, you know, and my wife, she said to me a couple weeks ago, when I got up to go to the bathroom, she says, baby, you're looking a little Bob back there. I said, what's Bob? She said, that's 𝗠𝗶𝗵𝗵𝗵𝗲 SquarePants back there. So she never said that in the 30-some years we've been married, you know. So I had to turn up my workout. But listen, guys, I want us to understand something here. I'm so happy to be here today. I get a chance to speak to many, many different groups. People on the spectrum, all up and down the spectrum. Some people trying to climb out of tough situations. Some people that are doing well and just flying high and want to get over the top. But right here, the top 8%. Come on, man. That says something. That says something. That means the people in this room did things that people outside this room wouldn't do. That's what that means. You made the meeting you had to make. You didn't take no for an answer. You got the sale you have to get. Everybody doesn't do that. Everybody doesn't do it. I was reading something the other day, and it was talking about, you know, your brain will send you an idea. And if you don't act on that idea within 5 seconds, your brain then will start talking you out of that idea. That's mind-blowing. So the people in this room got the idea, and they said, let's start moving right away. Because the people in here did not. That's why they didn't make it in here. I get something extra when I come to talk to people that know what it takes to become a champion. That's what it takes to become a champion. Don't tell me who didn't do what and what somebody didn't do. Tell me who didn't do it. I'm going to do what they didn't do, and I'm going to do it and get it. That's the difference. That's the difference. That's the difference between a champion and a contender. Everybody's a contender, but not everybody is a champion. So I want to say, I want everybody in here to stand up. Let's stand up. I want you to give a round of applause and look around because you're giving that applause to each other. Let's go, baby. These are such great moments, guys. Congratulations, guys, really. And I really do mean that. Congratulations. One thing Jimmy Johnson would always say to us is very few people really ever know what it means to be a champion, because very few people are willing to do what it takes to be a champion. They just are. And moments like this are so important. You know, talking to Brian and Lauren and Toby, I was like, when you guys start doing this? This is brilliant. This is brilliant. This is great. Having these moments to come together and share. I don't know if they know it, but this is really spiritual. Because the Bible says, confess one to another, pray ye one for the other. In this we shall find healing. This is really spiritual. And in the Bible, when they say confess, they're really talking about share. And when they say find healing, means we'll find answers. Because once I share my story with you, you don't know. Somebody else may be going through some of the same things, and they can glean something to help pull them through or glean something to help get them over the top. That's why, Brian, bringing people on this stage to share with you their story, that's what champions do. We feed off each other. We feed off each other, and we try to glean from those stories. I want to share with you a little bit about my journey. If I can take you back with me to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where I grew up. Back in 1966 in this little old house, just a little old tiny house. My mom and dad sitting in that house, running around, 14 little kids running around. 14 little knuckleheads running around. My mom said she got pregnant. She was pregnant with me. I was the 15th. She says to me, she said, baby, I just got to tell you the truth. God told me, Michael, tell you the truth, baby. She said, when I got pregnant with you, I just flat out cried. I said, no way, God. No, not another one. Not another one. We can't feed the ones we got. Not another one. She said to me, and I'm telling you, she said this every day. She said, baby, we were in church, and my mom's a primitive Baptist, so, you know, they were in foot washing service. They call it feet washing service. They call it the foot washing. It's really feet washing, but that's neither here nor there. But she was in service. He said God wrapped her his arms around her womb and said, fret not, Pearl. This should be the one. This blessing should make your latter days greater than your former days. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. She shared it with me every chance she got. You know what God said, baby. You know what God said. I mean, I could tell you, so many times we walked up to that refrigerator, and there was that little white refrigerator with that little spot on it, wasn't a thing in there to eat. But she would open it up anyway, and she'd look and she would say, I ain't worried. God already said, baby. It ain't gonna always be this way. She was holding me. I remember that. I remember that. She stained my brain with it. She stained my brain. And we were coming up. It was hard coming up. Man, we were poor. We were poor. I see people now talking about please. We were real poor. I speak for a living. I know the word is really poor. But when you were as poor as we were, you couldn't afford the other O and the R. You just called it poor. We were poor. And we were. The kind of poor, man, okay, you get a pair of pants. My sister got a pair of pants. She's the oldest. Willie Pearl, she's the oldest, so she would get a pair of pants. Those pants got to make it through the family. So here I am down at 15. The pants way up here. All my prayers are all these years, God, please, please, when the pants follow me, let them be back in style. Because they could be bell bottoms up here, and they in style, out of style, in style, out of style, in style, out of style. I don't want to go to school with these pants on that's not in style. That's what Poe is. That's what Poe is. But my baby would always say, God always promised. He already promised. We ain't going to always live this way. My father was a roofer. And he was a pastor. Hardest working man in the world. Bar none. When I hear people talking about, Michael, work hard. Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't want to hear that. Work hard is what he did. All I did was run around catching balls. He was a roofer, man. I mean, roofer. Sun up to sundown, he laid that roof. Sun up to sundown. In Florida, heat from sun up to sundown. And he had this way of teaching. You know, he always would say to me, son, you're a man. As a man, life's about decisions and consequences. I said, okay, Dad. Told me this since I was a little kid. Decisions and consequences. And then I thought I'd get smart and say, hey, he said, you can make any decision as long as you live with the consequences. I said, oh, okay. And I don't know, I must have been about third, fourth grade. I must have watched a little bit of that beaver, and I saw that beaver ran away, and everybody went crazy. Oh, no, you know, so I figured I should try something. So one day, Dad came to wake me up. I said, Dad, I made a decision. He said, what's that? I said, I don't want to go to school no more. He said, you don't want to go to school anymore? He said, all right, son. He said, all right. You don't go to school tomorrow. You don't have to go to school tomorrow. That's the decision you made. Now, he woke me up the next morning at 5 a.m. I said, what's up, man, Dad? Remember, I made a decision last night that I ain't going to school anymore. He said, yeah, that's the decision you made. Now, the consequence is you got to go to work with me. Oh. And then, I thought, this ain't no bad idea. Let me go do this. I'm slinging. I was in charge of the mud. I got to make the cement, put it in buckets, carry it, put it up under the cement, and pull it up. Sometimes I was catching it. People wonder how my hands get so strong. I was catching cement. I was so tired. Oh, my God. Oh, when I came home that day, the pants were so white they had semen all over. I remember walking in here just like this, going straight to bed. He woke me up the next morning and said, son, let's go. Trying to go. I said, I made another decision. I'm going back to school. I'm going back to school. My dad had ways of teaching us that way. There were great ways, because you got it. You just got it. I'll tell you this, I never let those pants go. He made me go to work with them every summer. And I took those pants. I put them up on the wall at the University of Miami when I went off to school. The last thing my brother said to me when he dropped me off at school, he said, Michael, you can run in there and run around and chase mess and do all that mess and not focus. He said, in 4 or 5 years, you'll be doing the same thing, running around, chasing mess and not being focused. He said, oh, you can go in here and do what you have to do for the next 4 or 5 years, and everything chases you. I was like, that might be some pretty good advice right there. Let me take up on that. Let me take up on that. Coming out of Fort Lauderdale as a kid, they started busing us off to these schools. Busing us off to a school, and I remember as a kindergartner walking in school, and it was quite a ways away. They had just started desegregating and putting people in schools together. And I'll never forget walking in that school as a 6-year-old, and the lady was asking, who knows how to spell their name? Everybody knew except me. Who knows the colors? Everybody knew except me. I thought I was the dumbest dude in the world. And this went on for about 3 years, and about my 3rd grade year, there was a tutor who was helping me out. And he came to me and said, hey, listen, if we hurry up with this math, we'll go out and throw this football. And I got through it fast. And we went outside. And he started throwing a football to me, and I caught it. Then he threw another one, and I caught it. He was like, hey. He came closer and threw it harder, and I would catch it. And he said to me, oh, my God. He said, you could be something special with the way you catch. That's all he ever said. Changed my moment. Right then, right there. Gave me something to grab. Right then, right there. Wasn't always easy. When I first started playing football, I never got on the football field. When I was in the neighborhood, I was the worst athlete in the neighborhood. Literally the worst athlete in the neighborhood. I mean, we used to do races, and they would make me run against the girls. And she beat me every time. Rosemary was in there. Rosemary was fast. I don't know why they would make me run against her, but she was fast anyway. But I ran against the girls. One day, after going through a lot of stuff with public schools, there was this man named George Smith from 𝗖𝗄𝗟 High School. He said, son, you got some talent. All you need to do is connect with the right people to undergird you and guide you. There's no telling what you can do. He was a head coach at the school for almost 40 years. I thank God for him. I call him my miracle on my journey. All of us have him. You can think about him. There's somebody in your life, man, that has helped you get here, that without him you would not be here. He is that miracle on your journey, because he took me out of that public school system and put me around private kids that knew and had direction. And I learned quickly, I have to get a plan. I have to get a plan. That's when I came up with the master plan. I'm going to go to school, I'm going to graduate, I'm a major in business, I'm going to take my courses in communications, I want to go play football, and I want to do broadcasts. Came up with the plan. came up with the plan. Everybody comes up with a plan. Executing it is another thing. To execute that plan, I had to set my mind. I had to set my mind each and every day. And listen to what I'm saying. Each and every day, I said every day I get up, I have to set my mind to see my way to a championship. To see my way to a championship. And I'm talking about in any aspect of life. Father, husband, businessman, corporation, organizations, families, football teams, any sport team. How do I see my way to a championship? I want to tell you how you see your way to a championship, no matter what you're facing. I want you to know the first thing you got to do is know that you are called for what you are doing. Know that you are called. This is so incredibly important right here. It's to know that you are called. Let me tell you why. 85% of this country hates their job. I was reading a poll the other day, and that's what the Gallup poll said. 85% of this country hates their job. I said, oh, you're wrong. I'm sure you talk to all the people, but you're wrong. 100% of the people in this country hate their job because they see it as their job. When you have a job that's duty bound, you got to get up and go to work every day. I don't feel like doing this, man, every day. But if you know you are called, now you're purposely walking out the purpose in your life. It makes a whole difference on how I see the day. You got to know you are called. Too many people don't know that they are called, and they're making money off you out here in the real world. They got a thing called happy hour because you're miserable on your job, because it's a job that makes you miserable at home. So they say, come on by, you'll have a happy hour, and you're going to spend your money. Thinking you really going to get a happy hour. Know that you are called, man, each and every day. And when you know you're called, it'll give you some courage. It'll give you courage to walk out that destiny. I knew I was called to play wide receiver. Make no mistake about it. I knew I was called to play wide receiver. At birth, I knew I was called. No, the doctor tried to spank me. I caught his hand. They said, wait a minute. Mom said, baby, I think you're supposed to let him spank. I said, I catch anything that come in the area. I knew I was called from that moment on to play wide receiver. You can't get it. But when I started sharing it with all the people in the neighborhood, man, I'm going to play in the NFL one day. They don't know anybody ever made it in the NFL. All they saw was the worst athlete running around the neighborhood. They're like, man, come on, man. I'm like, man, listen, man, I don't want you to get your hopes up now. You know what I mean? I mean, Rosemary beat you. How you going to go play in the NFL? So I have to have courage to even walk around or through or over all of these obstacles and all of these doubters. I got to know I'm called and then have courage. I always say, the greater the call, the higher the wall. The greater call that's down inside me, the higher the wall I'll scale to get to my destiny. The greater the call, the higher the wall. Know that you are called. It's all about the mindset. Go out and show courage each and every day. And I want you to understand courage. When you say courage, people start saying, oh, man, he's fearless. He's fearless. No. They used to say that all the time. Well, Michael Irvin run that slant route. He's fearless. No, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Stop saying that. We playing running lot one day. Let's run a lot over there. They call the player, call the slant route. I say, oh, man, that's running lot. So, man, you ain't scared. You feel it. That's running lot, dude. Running lot cut off his own hand to get back in the game. I'm like, dude, the dude cut off his own hand. It's okay to be scared here. You know? Having courage doesn't say you did not have fear. I I want to give you a little trick. This is my own special food. I eat on it all the time. How you overcome that fear. Because, I was scared of running a lot. But whenever I come up against a great fear, I put it up against a greater fear. Like when they called that slant route, and I looked, I said, oh, God, that's running a lot. Big Mike said, boy, you going to get hit hard. That's what Big Mike said. But Little Mike comes up in there and says, hey, y'all got to shut up. We got to either run this slant or go back to the ghetto. I ain't scared no more. I ain't going back to no ghetto. Running a lot bad, but he ain't badder than that ghetto. He ain't badder than hungry nights. He ain't badder than that. I'll take this hit right now. You put that fear up against a greater fear, and you should all be afraid to not fulfill your destiny. Don't live a life where you do not fulfill your destiny. Know that you are called and show courage. And I want to give you another C. Each and every day, the one thing we must all do is challenge ourselves. We got to challenge ourselves, man. Challenge yourself. That's something new or different, which will require great effort and determination. That's what you have to do every day. Every day, you got to wake up and say, how do I get better today? How do I get better today? All I'm saying is if you want to do something great, every day you got to grow. You have to grow. I love this quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson, where he says, unless you try to do something beyond what you have mastered already, you will never grow. Something beyond that you have mastered already. Jimmy used to make us challenge ourselves. Jimmy would tell you, every day at practice, he comes running out. Let's go. Let's get ready to do some hitting. He ain't hit nobody yet. Let's go. And he would always say to us, which I thought was fascinating, he said, let's make our mind control our bodies, not our bodies controlling our mind. You know how many lies your body sends to your mind? You go through it every morning. Every morning that alarm clock goes off, your mind says, come on, hit the snooze button. That's what your body telling you. Man, we so tired, hit the snooze button. You go through it every morning. You got to fight off it. Fight it up. Get off me. Get up. I'm getting up. Leave me alone. I don't know. I hit that thing about 2-3 times. So I don't even know why we do it. So we set it even more early because we know we're going to hit it a few times. It's really stupid. Just set it late and get up the first time. Think about how ignorant that is. How crazy we are. We all do it. We all do it. Some way, somehow we think we're stealing something. We hit a snooze. You set it 20 minutes early because you knew it was going to take you 20 minutes to get out. We got to make our minds control our body. And our bodies control our mind. Because you tell yourself a few times, man, I don't feel like doing it. I don't feel like doing it. Challenge yourself. And what's great about challenging yourself every day, no matter where you're working, no matter who you're working around, no matter who you're with, if they see you do it every day, trust me, it'll make them challenge themselves. It'll make them challenge themselves. Man, we had little Kmart. Little Kmart was this tall. Play wide receiver. And little Kmart came out, and he was a bad little boy, man. And I remember my first year here, man, I came out. I had just got drafted. Y'all saw the video. I said, listen, I'm the man. I had on a big old hat, gold ropes. I said, Super Bowl, here we go. Next year, I lost 2-3 games of all of college. Won all the time. I said, we're here. We here. Man, I got my first day in camp, We did all the interviews. I'm telling people, yeah, I'm here. Oh, yeah, won championship last year in Miami. Yeah, I understand. I can catch pass. I can catch anything. I can catch a BB in the dark. Somebody shoot a BB gun and turn out the lights. I'm just talking so much noise, man. I get out there on my first few practices. I'm dropping everything they throw. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do. I was like, oh, my God, what's going on? Hey, it's a true story. Everson Walls jammed me. I said, oh, my God. They sent me to the eye doctor. They sent me to the hand doctor. This is a true story. My rookie year. This is the first I lost confidence. I had to come to the realization, man, you have lost confidence. Ain't nothing wrong with your eyes. Ain't nothing wrong with your hand. It's all in your head. I had to get back on my cycle. I had to start seeing my way to a championship. So I let the duty of it get to me. And I turned that thing back around. But I watched and I challenged myself to find that. You challenge yourself, other people start challenging themselves, and then it brings about a competition, a natural competition. Let me tell you something. Every place I've set my feet in the sand, I can say I've left a footprint of greatness, or I can say I've left a footprint of championships, because I've won on every level. And the common thread woven through all of those teams that we won championships on was we competed. We flat out competed. We would always say Sundays are our fun days, game day is a fun day, because we work harder in practice than any game. Is that my phone? That's my phone up here. Okay, I'm sorry. It's my brother-in-law, man. I'm sure they need some money, but don't worry about it. I'm sure. Hey, listen. Let me tell you the truth, though. My phone used to say, I used to have a machine that says, if you're calling to make me money, leave a message. If you're calling to take my money, goodbye. They used to say, because when you got this many brothers and sisters, usually, you know what I'm saying. It's coming in to take the money, not to make you money. But to compete is the key to it all. It really was. And Jimmy was great at this. Jimmy would bring about competition. Like in college, somebody was telling me today, said, Michael, say some things about college. Because I'm an Arkansas fan. I said, let me tell you about Jimmy in college. We are a bunch of young guys, man. And we're out here, and we're practicing. And Jimmy wouldn't like to practice. He would call everybody up, and he said, let me tell you something. He said, all of you are under the wrong impression. He said, I know you got a scholarship, and you call, Mama, I got a 4-year scholarship. You're telling everybody I got a 4-year scholarship. You ain't got no 4-year scholarships. You didn't read the fine print. Under them scholarships, they said 1 year renewable. And if we don't get better practices out here, they will not be renewed. Oh, you should have seen them practices. Oh, my God. You should have seen them practice. Boy, you talking about some practices. We were competing. They were serious. Did the same thing in Dallas. Man, we used to have Haley and Troy arguing at each other in the middle of practice. Right in practice, Hey, they just yelling and arguing. I said, man, can we get some work done around here? Because we competed. We competed. We did it Monday, we did it Tuesday, we did it Wednesday, we did it Thursday, we did it Friday. We competed. Alvin Harper and I would race off the line of scrimmage. We were so detailed in our competition. Even so at the snap of the ball, said Hut, we're in film. I'm like, hey, I'm 10 yards. I'm beating you at 10 yards. I'm beating you at We were racing off the line of scrimmage. And Alvin was much faster than me. I already told you I was the slowest guy in the world. I couldn't outrun Alvin. Do you know how many hours of film I studied to try to get an edge on him? I said, I can't outrun him. What can I do? I started breaking down how the position is played. All right, Troy goes blue 18, said Hut. Now, Hut has to travel all the way out here to me. I'm way out here at wide receiver. HUD has to travel to me. So sound travels. I said, Michael, you know you slow, so let's take out sound traveling. You know, they'll tell you, watch the ball, don't move until the ball moves. I'm thinking if I'm on offense and he's on defense, if I don't move the ball moving, he sees the ball moving at the same time, I ain't got no advantage. I'm the one on offense, I know the count, I should have an advantage. So what I start doing is stop what everybody said. I'm not watching the ball, and I'm not waiting to hear HUD. When Troy says blue 18, sound reverberates. Blue 18, blue 18, blue 18. Set. When set hits my ear out here, I give it one count. I know he's saying HUD over there. HUD ain't gonna travel to me. I'm going like this, right now. So instead of snap, go, it's woof. Boy, them dudes were complaining. Ref, he's offsides. Ref, he got to be offsides, ref. So ref said, no, he moved right when the ball moved, right when the ball moved. You know what I mean? But it's because I searched. I looked. I tell that to young kids now that are playing the position. They're like, oh, man, I never thought about that. I said, I know you ain't thinking. You just running around off the gifts God has given you, and you're not challenging yourself every day. You got to go find solutions. Wake up and find solutions. If you're doing the same thing you did yesterday, you did nothing. Jimmy would always say to us, each day you got to make a decision to get better or you do get worse. If I make a decision to do nothing, I just made a decision to get worse because somebody else got better. You have to make that decision. Each day, you have to make that decision. We competed. And then right around Friday, when we walk off the field, it's all time to collaborate. It's time to collaborate. Now we are one unit again, getting ready to beat the next squad. That's when Friday night we're going to go out and grab a little bite to eat because we all got to talk about now. We done beat up on each other all week. But now we got to talk about how we're attacking them after attacking each other all week. And we would be in those meetings. And no matter what and how hard somebody has battled me in the competition stage, I can't let it affect me in the collaboration stage. So I got DBs going up against me hard in the competition stage. And we got this one DB, and I can't tell you his name. I don't want to tell you because I don't want to, but he was so physically gifted. And every day he'll be having great practices, but we get him in the game and he doesn't do well. And I, as a leader, had to find out why, because I need the 53rd man on this roster to win championships. I need him. So I went over to his house. I said, hey, man, come by. I'm going to come by. I stopped by to get something to eat, and we were sitting there. And while we were sitting there, all he was doing was holding little Carmen. I'll call her Carmen. That's not her name. That's my granddaughter's name, but I'm going to just practice with Carmen. He was holding Carmen. We talked for a while. Never let Carmen go. I left, got up to leave. He walked me out, holding Carmen. When I got in the car, as a leader, I said, I got him now. I got him. I've yelled at this dude, cursed him, called him all kinds of names. Everything trying to get the best out of him, and I could never move him. But when I left that house, that moment, I knew I had him. And when we got in that next game, and things started turning down for him, like they always did, all I had to do was walk by. And I said, hey, man, that's the best you got for Carmen? And walked off. Woo! This dude, hey, boy, I was like, oh, God. Hey, coach came and he said, what'd you say to him? I said, I got it. Don't worry. I found what makes him tick. I found what makes him tick. You got to know what makes you tick. When Big E asked me, he came in the league, Eric Williams, he said, Michael, I want to make the league. He said, man, I got some things to do. I got to take care of my mom. She's been through so much. I said, big fella. I I said, what do you see when you line up? He said, well, I see a defensive end, and he's in I said, big fella, what do you see when you line up? He said, well, I see the guy, he's in 3 technique. I said, big fella, we were in the steam room. After practice, I said, big fella, what do you see when you line up? I see the number I'm trying to get on, his inside number. I said, no, big fella. I said, you want to win? Tap into what makes you tick. What you see when you line up is a joker that's trying to stop you from feeding your mama. He doesn't think your mom deserves to eat. All she's been through, he doesn't want her to have anything. When you see it correctly, nobody will get by you. He saw it correctly. And it changed the landscape of everything. There was a guy at the time, Reggie White, that was destroying everybody. But not when Big E got to him. Because Reggie White was trying to stop Big E mama from eating. As a leader, I needed to know what makes him tick. And in the collaboration stage, it's my job to pull it out of him. We're in the collaboration stage. Collaboration is more than cooperation. Cooperation says I go play wide receiver and Deion Sanders go play defensive back. He does his job, I do my job. Collaboration says when I go up to Deion and say, Mike, Deion, listen, man, I'm watching Jerry Rice, because you know Jerry Rice, Jerry Rice, baddest man in the world. I just wanted to beat Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice was in my locker, in my college lockers. Whew. I said, when you see Jerry Rice, every time they go 59 raise, he has his right leg back, he's a yard outside the hash, he's running the post. I'm trying to tell them, we collaborate, you need to stop him so I can have more yards and touchdowns than him. So I was helping him with that. I was helping him, we were collaborating. Let me tell you something, man, this was after the 91 season, and I admired Jerry Rice so much, man. He was just the greatest coming up. I wanted to be him. I used to take his workout, then take Darryl Green's workout, do his in the morning, Darryl Green's in the evening, and then do mine at night. I said, I'm outwork everybody. If I did them all, I should beat everybody. Let me tell you something. You won't ever find anybody to outwork me. Can't do it. Can't do it. I set my mind. You cannot outwork me. Impossible. Impossible. But in 91, I beat him. I won receiver of the year. And it's my first Pro Bowl. And we were sitting in Hawaii. And I saw him coming. I said, gosh, Jerry Rice over there. I just won the trophy. I ain't saying a word. I'm like, Jerry Rice, cool. And he came up behind me. He said, this is my first time meeting him. Hey, Irv. I said, Jerry Rice just called me Irv. Don't move. Make him call you again. Hey, Irv. I said, me? I said, what's up, man? What's up, dog? All he said to me, I enjoyed the work. I chased you all year. I didn't get you, but I'm going to get you next year. And walked off. I said, well, that's it? That's my intro to Jerry, right? But it told me, boy, you better get on your P's and Q's, boy. That's all Jerry had to say. He couldn't sleep. He had no peace because he didn't win. That's a champion. That's a champion. The greater the call, the greater the wall. He was ready to scale that wall. That's a champion. Last C is understand this. There's nothing more important than what you're doing now. After you have the collaboration stage, we go in a game, we beat people down. The congratulation stage is very important. And that's what this moment is about. It's about saying to you, a great job, but also putting in you some inspiration and motivation. Let's go be better next year. That's what this is about. My dad always said it. Great men will see farther than they can run. Great men will see farther than they can run. That means if you start anything that starts and stops with you, That's not greatness. That's not greatness. Great men will see farther than they can run. Biblically, it says the children's children is the crown of the old man. So he's saying you got to put something in not just your children's, but your children's children before we give you a crown. See, Carmen was my crown. Greatness will see farther than they can run. The NFL got it right. They don't make you sit on the goal line and go 100 yards in 4 downs because they know that journey is too great. You won't make it. You'll give out. You'll fall out. So the NFL said, what we will do is not make you go 100 yards, but if you just go 10 yards, we'll give you a celebration. It's called a first down. And then you go 10 more yards, you can have another celebration, which is called a first down, and another 10 yards. All you have to do is focus on these small celebrations. Let's just keep getting better year to year. And when we look back at all these small celebrations, all those small 10 yards, 10 yards, 10 yards, you end up in the touchdown. Great men will see farther than they can run. Celebratory times are as important as planning or determination. All of it is right here, what we're doing right now. Now, as great leaders and great men, and that's why you are here early, you also have a responsibility. You can't rest on what you're doing. Your job is to go get 5 more people and bring them in this room. Give them the knowledge. Inspire them. Give them the tools to help them get in this room. Now you are doing greatness within your organization or your corporation, and you're doing greatness for this country because you're helping produce hard-working people. I always say this, don't tell me about people that are smart. I know smart people, that means you have knowledge. Tell me about people who are brilliant. That means you know how to give knowledge. Smart is just a collection of knowledge. Brilliance says we can do something great together. Because I can't do anything without you. This is why I love football so much. It's the greatest game in the world. There is no such thing as individual isolated success in baseball. Aaron Judd, let me come on up to date. Aaron Judd slaps a home run at home plate. He does it all by himself. In golf, Tiger Woods, he drops that putt all by himself. You just saw Kawhi Leonard, took the ball off one rim, went and dunked it, did it all by himself. In football, there is no such thing as doing it all by yourself, as it is in life, as it is in family, as it is in business. There's no such thing as doing it all by yourself. So I want to tell you this in closing. I want to tell you this. Every day, you must know the greatest challenge for you. Every day, you must know the greatest challenge for you. Every day, you must know the greatest challenge for you is you. So when the day arrives, and you must rise, and you go and you put toothbrush to tooth, you look that dude dead in the mirror, right in his eyes, and you tell him, we must set our day to see our way to a championship. Every day, see your way to a championship. Know that you are called, have courage, challenge yourself, will bring about a competition, collaboration, and celebration. I gave you a touchdown of C's. Something in 30 or 40 minutes that will stay in your brain that you can eat and chew on for the next 30 or 40 years. How to see your way to a championship. Folks, I will see you in the championship circle.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you so much. I have a couple questions for you real quick.
Come on now.
How about the boys? What up? How about the boys? What up? They bring the noise. I'm talking about the Dallas Cowboys.
Woo!
What up?
Yeah,
How about the boys? What up? How about the boys?
I'm ready to catch a pass now. Man, a couple quick questions for the playmaker. How about that? Man, that was good. And I'm ready to go back to work, bro.
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it.
Where did your leadership come from? Because I feel as a Cowboy, you were such a leader. Practice every day, doing it, man. Where did it come from?
You know, I've said to people sometimes, it's funny to say it this way in this situation, that your greatest promise can come from your greatest pain, right? You know, so growing up with that many jokers in the house, that was a great pain. But it taught about working together and sharing and not being so self-centered, even though I was flamboyant. There's a difference between flamboyant and self-centered. Not being so self-centered and about sharing. So it was a great pain growing up, but it ended up being a great promise since everywhere I went, I was able to lead them to a championship.
I love it. Thank you, buddy. Also, to get where you got, there had to be some daily routines along the way. You talked about 3 workouts a day. Were there some other things that you did that we can all learn from?
Well, the first thing I do is I always wake up and talk about setting my mind. We don't do that. The most powerful tool we have is our mind. The greatest advice I've ever gotten and I can give is to manage your mind. It's everything. It sets everything. And I'm amazed at how many people just get up like a vagabond and wander through the day without setting their mind. Set a direction and be directed. The word says, as a man thinketh, so is he. Honestly, man, that is so powerful. The brain is so powerful. Hey, don't get me started now. I read a lot about this stuff. I go all day about this stuff, too. I can tell you about the 4 lobes of your brain, the S and M, A and T, L and M, and F and E. That's the S sensory motor brain, your attention thinking brain, your learning and memory brain, and your feeling and emote brain. If I share a story with you and I hit all 4 of those lobes, you'll never forget the story. That's why somebody can play music right now, boom, boom, just an old beat you ain't heard in 20 years, and all the words will come back to you. You just start singing like, hey, oh, yeah. Because it stains your brain. Understand how powerful the mind is, man, and put that thing to work for you. Don't just don't just leave it in your head to help you do the things that I got to get a glass of water. No, put it to work. Pour down all the positive vibrations of thought, because your brain is like a computer, and floating in this ether is all the thoughts, positive thoughts and negative thoughts, floating in the ether. This is true. Now, so if you're a negative thinker, your brain, like a magnet, pour down all the negative thoughts out of the ether. This is why we see people who are sick go from feeling bad to feeling a little depressed, then depressed, and then suicidal. Because they just keep pulling out negative thoughts. But if you put your mind on a positive thought, it'll pull down all the positive thoughts, and you can use those to your advantage. understand the power of your mind.
Last question, buddy. If someone is down, struggling, man, what do they do to get back up? But also, the one thing I got from what you said is you not only get back up, but you execute.
Right, right. And it's a couple things too now. It's okay to struggle. Ain't nobody, and I don't care, I ain't said grammatically correctly. I know I said ain't nobody is incorrect, but I'm gonna tell you, ain't nobody made it without struggle. Struggle's good because it makes you search yourself. Even in football games, when we win football games, on Monday, when we go through film session, everybody's joking. We're looking for the laughter and the fun part in it. But when we lose, everybody's because we just went through a struggle. And now we're focused. Struggle is good. But I want to correct something that I don't like. I hear people, you hear this, and I read it, failure is the grandfather of success. No. Understand, failure speaks to an end game. That's the end of it. So setbacks and struggles, that's middle game. That's middle game. Don't you let your setback or your struggle get misconstrued as your failure and you stop. You understand what I'm saying? Failure is an end game. Success is the end game. Setbacks and struggles, that's what stuff that happens in the middle. You're in the middle of your journey. You're not at the end of your journey, and something has gone bad, and you say, well, I failed, and you stop trying. That's a setback. It's not failure. And